It's not meant to be a strife. It's not meant to be a struggle uphill. Oh, you're trying too hard. You're trying too hard. Give yourself in. Ooh, you're trying too hard. Oh, it's not.
I was 19 when I first listened to the song of Björk and fell in deep, unconditional love with the music. But I must admit that I never understood the meaning of these lyrics until now. I'm just realizing that 21 years have passed. I am twice as old as I was back then. That's crazy and beautiful. I felt really old when I turned 21. And although I was so young, I already felt behind in life. I put myself under so much pressure. But why? What was I running from at such a young age? What was I being chased by? What was I so afraid of? Ever since I can remember, I have had a strong urge for self-realization, which partly had to do with me not knowing who I was. Or let's put it this way, I didn't have a real sense of what my true original needs were. I am the first descendant in a line of ancestors who has the opportunity to self-actualize. My ancestors, especially on my mother's side, used to live in an extreme state of lack and poverty. I just recently found out that one of my great aunts had 9 children and lost 7 of them due to famine and war. And I'm sure there are some stories you could tell me about your ancestors and parents and the way their trauma had or has an influence on you. It took me quite a while to understand why I have certain fears and resistances within me that I couldn't initially explain with my rational mind. I don't have to understand all of them, but simply grasping the root of some mindsets and beliefs within me had a transforming effect. It has laid the foundation for an empathetic and loving relationship with myself. It helped me to understand where certain patterns, beliefs, and mindsets come from. Sometimes I imagine myself like a river that flows to the ocean, the greater whole. All the people connected to me, especially my family and my ancestors, but also my friends and the people that came into my life for certain reasons, are also like rivers. We are connected to each other. We flow into each other and are all connected and moved by a unifying energy. This energy is formless, non-binary, and the ocean is just an image for a greater power. Sometimes certain things happen to us that leave an impact that changes us in a way that we're not able to flow freely anymore. This energy or lack of energy often gets passed on. When the river can't flow freely, it seeks alternative paths. When our energy of unconditional love for this world can't flow freely, it can transform into an energy of fear that, if it gets amplified, causes more and more resistances and blockages inside of us. What we sometimes tend to forget, in the immediate vicinity of fear, right next door, springs the energy of courage and generosity. It becomes active in those moments when we surrender to the greater whole and go beyond the boundaries of our ego. It makes so much sense since we're all connected to each other through our genes, our experiences, especially through those that were crucial and impactful in a positive or negative way, through our trauma. It makes so much sense to transform these resistances, to empower ourselves, to make our energy flow freely. Because this way we create an energy pull, an attraction that can also dissolve and heal the resistances, blockages, and traumas of our ancestors. And even though I'm not a big fan of the whole manifestation hype, I believe that the law of attraction can't be denied. The energy of love attracts the energy of love as much as fear attracts the energy of fear. However, we have to remember that fear is there to protect us, that it is there or has once been there for our greater good. It is not our enemy. Our ancestors might have been in a constant state of survival, just to save their lives and the lives of their children. And some of us are in life and existence-threatening circumstances as I speak. The moments when we have to fight or to flee, when it comes down to all or nothing, they are real. These are the moments when we have to try everything to survive or to help others to survive, when we need to strive for a better future. But there are those moments or realms where we are safe, when we have room to unfold. They are real as well. That is the time to thrive, the time to realize ourselves and to heal. But oftentimes we're still driven by the energy of survival and fear even when we are safe. That's what Björk's song is about. It is about surrendering to the greater whole, of having the courage to let go of our fear. You know, in the end it all comes down to the following question. Do you believe that everything makes sense? Or do you believe that nothing makes sense? I chose to believe that everything makes sense. Everything, every living being, every manifestation of energy makes sense. Well, I believe that now. It took me quite a while. Because there were some things that happened to my ancestors as well as to my immediate family, including myself, that were pretty tough, that created a strong negative pull. And the more trauma got entangled, the stronger this pull got. I understand now so much better why I made certain decisions and certain choices as a young girl and woman. I didn't feel that the world was a safe place. I had a very wholesome and beautiful early childhood. I grew up in the GDR as the child of an ambassador, not being aware of the system I was born into. I only experienced the good sides. I spent my first school year in Yemen amidst palm trees and parrots. It was a safe, warm and wonderful place. Until the wall fell, and everything my parents had built was suddenly gone. Overnight. Ever since, my biggest fear became building any sort of status and working in a system. And the biggest luxury and freedom that I had, something that my parents and ancestors didn't have, was following my passion, being creative, making art and music, turning my passion into a living. I felt that this was something that was expected of me, that it would be ungrateful not to make use of my passion in that way since my ancestors weren't able to fulfill their dreams. So I started to chase after a dream that wasn't really my own. No matter how little money it paid me, no matter how many people liked it or not, I was striving for this dream of being a full-time creative. But I very quickly noticed hurdles come in my way. And these manifest through my body. I really loved making music, for example, composing and recording songs, the whole creative process behind it, but I just couldn't cope with the other demands. Very often I used to get terrible uterus cramps after and during concerts. At a certain point I found out that I had a chronic illness called endometriosis that I actually shared with my female ancestors. And it seemed the more I was trying to self-actualize, no matter what, the worse my pain seemed to get. I just couldn't understand why my body was sabotaging me in such a way. It was only when I became a mother and survived a near-death experience that I realized what I have been ignoring most of my life. My simple need for safety and comfort. My body and soul needed regular and healthy meals, regular sleeping hours, daily rituals and structure, but most importantly, unconditional love for myself and my creativity. So I took the pressure away, and I went to a place that really, really scared me. A dependent employment within a system. And do you know what? It was one of the best decisions I ever made. I'm still creative, I'm still making music, but I'm doing it on my own terms. I'm not doing it out of a feeling of lack or fear or guilt. I'm doing it with an unconditional love for myself and the people connected to me. Creativity doesn't necessarily need a stage or a screen or a canvas. You, me, our own self, we are the medium. Creativity is not realized by what we do. It comes to life in the way, in how we do things. The way we share ourselves, the way we interact, the way we are, or the way we were. But that's a different song. Not all of it is visible to this world. And I'm so grateful that I got the opportunity to work with my friends in an environment that is so inclusive, so diverse, so creative. I have less pain than ever. You know, sometimes it is vital to surrender, to enjoy every little inconspicuous moment, not to have the constant need of fighting or flying high. I know most people give up their regular jobs to become full-time creatives, full-time freelancers in order to fulfill their dreams. For me, it was the other way around. Life is not black and white. It is a rainbow. I never gave up my passion. I made new room for it, inside my own heart. And now, I'm advocating for my own dream and my very personal needs, which is to be happy and not to give so much thought to what others think or expect of me. And that is also the reason why I'm making this video. I want to remind this little girl that still lives inside of me and that will always be there, that she is perfect just the way she is. And so are you, who is watching and listening to this. If you want to stay in touch, you can subscribe to this channel. I plan on making some videos on the topic of self-love and aging because I need them myself. I'd be glad to see you around. Embrace yourself, baby.